Hey, welcome back to vosNET-Gaming. I'm Vosman, and today in the DMZ we are going to be talking sniper builds. Jesse on YouTube dropped me a comment and said, can you make a sniper class for DMZ? Which I obviously already have done, so I thought I'd make a quick video to show you my 3 sniper builds. So here we go. Generally I would normally use a Victus. That is my favourite sniper rifle, although I do like to run an MCPR every now and then. So what I thought is I would show you all 3 builds that I generally try to use in the DMZ. So here we go. So the first one, this is a Victus, and I have this set up with a FTAC Locus SP optic with the VLK 7mm laser, Mach 8 33.5 super barrel, Bruin counter ops muzzle, and high velocity ammunition. Basically both builds will include these 4 items and they will be tuned exactly the same way. The only difference will be the optic, and I'll explain why in a second. Now I run the FTAC Locus optic because that's a very nice clear optic and it has 2 zoom levels, so it can help you focus in on slightly further away enemies that you might be trying to take down. So I thought what we'll do is we'll run through the tuning of each one of these, so feel free to pause the video as and when you need to. So for the laser we're looking at this sort of tuning. For the barrel we'll have this as my tuning, and the Bruin counter ops muzzle I tune this way, and the high velocity ammunition, these are my settings, and the optic as well is tuned this way. So if we step into the firing range with this sniper rifle, you can see it's not a bad sniper rifle. I've always preferred the Victus anyway, but as you can see, looking down the optic, you can see that the mil lines are nice and faint. They're not too big, they don't get in the way of anything that you're aiming at. And the actual sight dot itself is actually quite small. So you do get a little bit of recoil on the Victus, but it's generally pretty quick and easy to get back onto the target. Obviously you only get 5 shots, so you've got to make sure they count. But yeah, it's nice and crisp, nice and smooth, and as you can see, 2 zoom levels with the FTAC Lotus helps you just zoom in that a little bit more on those slightly distant enemies. Now with that tuning, you should find that the bullet drop isn't too bad. Over 500 meters you might get a little bit, but it's not really too much. I think the bullet velocity on this is probably one of the highest you can get in the game, if not the highest. It might be the highest on the MCPR, I'm not sure, can't remember which way around it is, but this one's pretty high, so you will get a consistent shot every single time. Like I said, differences in my other build is that I will run the heat source. This optic is good for the thermal sight, and obviously it helps highlight targets. Very good for when you're in the foggy conditions like Ashika Island, or when you're in Vondel. That's primarily why I use this one, but occasionally I will use it in Al Mazrah as well, because I do actually quite like the blue optic. As you can see, the blue optic comes from a package called Steel Crucible, which I'm not entirely sure you can still buy in this store. But as you can see, looking down the optic there, you get a nice blue clear view, and the actual sight lines are very small as well, and they don't get in the way. You've got a nice blue dot there as well, which is a little bit bigger than the Locus, I think, but still very usable. And this I find is the clearest thermal optic to use. The green version of it, which is the standard version, is pretty good, but you also get some sort of crosshairs that are quite big actually on that side as well, so that it's not as easy to use, so I prefer to use this blue one. So there you go, those are my Victus builds. So moving on, here is my MCPR build. I don't actually run an optic on the MCPR because I find the MCPR's standard optic to actually be pretty good. It's not too bad at all, so I tend to run the FSS OLEV laser, the 22-inch OMX 456 barrel, F-Tac Reaper, high velocity ammunition, as you should always do, to get that nice crispy snipe over long distances. And because I'm not running an optic, you've got a spare slot for the Cronin smooth bolt here, which allows you to pick up the fire rate a little bit more. So tuning wise, on the laser, tuned in this way. On the barrel, have it tuned this way. On the muzzle, and on the high velocity ammunition. And the smooth bolt itself doesn't have any tuning, it is just the way it is. It just speeds up your fire rate. So dropping into the firing range, the added bonus that you obviously do have with the MCPR is that it comes with a 10-shot magazine rather than the 5 that you get on the Victors. So that does have a bit of a bonus to it. As you can see, looking down the optic, again, it's nice and clear, a decent level of zoom. You can pick off your enemies at distance quite easily with this. And with the bonus of the smooth bolt, you get to a nice quick refire rate on there as well. So very good setup, I find. But those are the 3 types of builds that I will use. Feel free to copy them or tweak them as much as you want to. If you've got any suggestions about how you think they should be better tweaked, then please let me know, because that would be most helpful. But yeah, as you see in comparison, both decent levels of zoom on both the Victors and the MCPR. Yeah, so those are the 2 best sniper rifles in the game that I find anyway. So yeah, that's it for this video. If you like this kind of thing, please feel free to drop a comment and let me know, or let me know how you would actually set your snipers up. But yeah, if you like this kind of thing, obviously, yeah, please hit the like and subscribe. For those that have already done so, very much appreciated. We've now crossed over 400 subscribers, so I appreciate every last one of you. It's very much appreciated. Thank you for all the support and all the kind comments that you've all left along the way. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe, maybe hit the notification bell if that takes your fancy. In the meantime, you take care of each other, be good to each other and be kind, and I will see you in the next one.